Behind the silver screen's polished smiles lay a dark, intoxicating secret. Who do you think was Hollywood's most tragic functioning alcoholic? Tell me in the comments. For decades, the icons you grew up cheering for fought losing daily battles against severe addiction, often stumbling onto movie sets completely intoxicated. Today, we pull back Tinseltown's glittering curtain to expose the downfalls of 6 legendary stars who were drunk all the time. Hit subscribe to uncover the untold, darker history of classic Hollywood. Gig Young, the darkest autumn of a Hollywood maverick. Movie veteran, been in pictures since 1941, is that correct? That's right. For those who grew up during the golden eras of cinema, Gig Young was the epitome of silver screen charm. With his sharp wit and debonair style, he was a beloved fixture in American households. The absolute pinnacle of his career came in 1969, when he took home the Academy Award for his chilling portrayal of the cynical marathon MC in They Shoot Horses, Don't They? It seemed like the ultimate triumph. Yet behind that polished, Oscar-winning smile lay a brilliant life spiraling into darkness. For decades, Young waged a losing battle against severe alcoholism. The disease gradually eroded his marriages, derailed his career, and stripped away his professional credibility. The tragic crescendo arrived in October 1978 inside his Manhattan apartment. Just 3 weeks after marrying his 5th wife, Kim Schmidt, the 64-year-old actor shot her to death before turning the gun on himself. It was a gruesome curtain call that left a generation of fans utterly paralyzed with shock. For older Americans who remembered him as the charming, romantic lead, the news was a heartbreaking reality check. Gig Young's final violent act proved that despite the adulation of millions and the highest honors in Tinseltown, he could never outrun the relentless demons that haunted his soul. Errol Flynn, the heartbreaking fall of Hollywood's ultimate swashbuckler, out of the sideman, far as away. Long before the modern tabloids, Errol Flynn was Tinseltown's original bad boy. With his dashing mustache, effortless charisma, and legendary swordplay, he ruled the silver screen in the 1930s and 40s as the ultimate box office guarantee. To an entire generation of American moviegoers, he was Robin Hood and Captain Blood personified. Yet the very wild spirit that made him a superstar ultimately became his undoing. Behind the glamorous facade, Flynn's life was consumed by a relentless lifestyle of heavy drinking, hard partying, and a severe morphine addiction. The tragic decline was swift. The once debonair gentleman soon found himself drowning in massive debts, forced to sell his beloved yacht and pen a scandalous memoir just to keep financial ruin at bay. When the curtain finally came down in 1959, Flynn passed away at the tragically young age of 50. The autopsy revealed a heartbreaking reality. His body was so ravaged by cirrhosis and heart disease that he looked like a frail, elderly man. He died nearly penniless, leaving behind no fortune, only the hollow reputation of Hollywood's most notorious hedonist. For the fans who once cheered his on-screen heroics, Flynn's demise remains a haunting reminder of how fast the brightest stars can burn out when chased by their own shadows. Veronica Lake. From screen siren to penniless cocktail waitress. Emil, you don't know how to keep a secret and you can't even stay out of town. Thanks, I know. In the early 1940s, Veronica Lake was an absolute sensation. With her sultry gaze and iconic peekaboo hairstyle, she defined wartime glamour for millions of Americans. Women rushed to salons to copy her look, and she was Paramount's golden girl. Yet beneath the platinum waves, a storm was brewing. Lake's severe battle with alcoholism and undiagnosed mental health issues made her notoriously unpredictable on set. Co-stars grew resentful, studios grew tired, and Hollywood eventually blacklisted its former darling. Her descent from the A-list was a tragic freefall. By the 1960s, the silver screen goddess was living in obscurity, working as a cocktail waitress and hotel maid in New York City just to survive. When she passed away in 1973 at the age of 50 from hepatitis and acute kidney injury driven by cirrhosis, the public had largely forgotten her name. Her lonely death was a chilling testament to the cold, transactional nature of Tinseltown. Veronica Lake's legacy remains a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly the studio system could manufacture a goddess and how effortlessly it could discard her when the illusion faded. Gail Russell, the heartbreaking solitude of a reluctant star. Friends of who, of all a society of friends. Many people call this quaint. To the American moviegoers of the 1940s, Gail Russell was a vision of ethereal, haunting beauty. Discovered as a shy high schooler, she possessed striking blue eyes that captured the hearts of millions in classics like The Uninvited. But unlike her contemporaries, Russell never chased the spotlight. She was an inherently introverted artist who was thrust into the crushing gears of the Hollywood studio system. To cope with a paralyzing phobic stage fright before the cameras, she turned to a dangerous confidant, alcohol. What began as a single drink to steady her nerves soon became a consuming disease. As her reliance on the bottle deepened, her life spiraled out of control. A series of highly publicized DUI arrests and erratic behavior on set destroyed her professional credibility. Hollywood, having exploited her vulnerability, quickly turned its back. Her final act was a masterclass in profound loneliness. In August 1961, at the tragically young age of 36, Russell was found dead inside her small Los Angeles apartment. She passed away entirely alone, surrounded by empty liquor bottles and her own oil paintings, a devastating monument to an addiction that stole everything. Gail Russell remains a poignant reminder of Tinseltown's darker side, where a gentle soul was crushed by the very machinery that promised her immortality. Robert Walker, the fatal eclipse of a Hitchcockian genius. I used to put myself to sleep at night figuring it out. To fans of classic cinema, Robert Walker possessed a rare, chilling talent that could turn on a dime. With his boyish charm masking a deeply unsettling intensity, he delivered a performance for the ages as the psychopathic Bruno Antony in Alfred Hitchcock's 1951 masterpiece, Strangers on a Train. He was on the absolute precipice of Hollywood immortality. Yet behind his brilliant on-screen calculation lay a personal life shattered by heartbreak. The painful, highly publicized divorce from his first love actress, Jennifer Jones, triggered a devastating downward spiral. To numb the agony, Walker turned heavily to the bottle, a dependency that eventually led to a series of nervous breakdowns and stints in psychiatric institutions. The final tragic curtain fell in August 1951. During a severe emotional crisis fueled by heavy drinking, a physician administered a heavy dose of sodium amytal to calm him down. The lethal combination of the potent sedative and alcohol caused his body to shut down, ending his life at the tragically young age of 32. Walker's sudden demise shocked mid-century America, abruptly extinguishing one of the silver screen's most promising lights. His legacy remains a haunting Hollywood cautionary tale, a brilliant mind that masterfully figured out how to portray madness on screen, but tragically couldn't conquer the inner turmoil that claimed him in the end. John Drew Barrymore, the haunting curse of Hollywood royalty, and cracked in the dawning East and felt his life. In the golden age of American theater and cinema, the Barrymore name was legendary. Yet along with unmatched talent, John Drew Barrymore inherited a dark, destructive family legacy. He was the son of the great patriarch John Barrymore, whose brilliant career was ultimately drowned in severe alcoholism. Tragically, John Drew would trace those exact same self-destructive footsteps. Despite his undeniable screen presence in the 1950s, his volatile behavior and deepening addictions quickly turned his name toxic in Tinseltown. Studios eventually washed their hands of him, erasing him from consideration. Rather than ruling the silver screen, he became famous for erratic run-ins with the law and a spectacular fall from grace. His final decades were a heartbreaking study in isolation. Reclusive, plagued by mental health struggles and estranged from his family, including his young daughter, future superstar Drew Barrymore, he lived a nomadic, near-homeless existence. When he passed away from cancer in November 2004, he died not as a celebrated actor, but as a forgotten, eccentric, mad poet who had long lost his way. For older Americans who watched generations of this theatrical dynasty rise and fall, John Drew Barrymore's lonely end was a devastating reminder that in Hollywood, the heaviest burden a man can carry is the shadow of his own family name. Ray Milland, the haunting irony of an Oscar triumph. I almost wish you would, when she heard that we'd have the biggest laugh of our lives. To fans of classic mid-century cinema, Ray Milland was the epitome of the sophisticated, suave leading man. The absolute pinnacle of his career arrived in 1945 when he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his raw, agonizing portrayal of a desperate alcoholic in Billy Wilder's masterpiece, The Lost Weekend. It was a career-defining moment, but it was also laced with a chilling, hidden irony. While Milland did not suffer from severe, life-destroying alcoholism during the filming of The Lost Weekend, in fact, he was a dedicated professional who intentionally starved himself to look the part the terrifying reality of addiction would catch up with him later in life. As the pressures of Hollywood mounted in the subsequent decades, Milland increasingly turned to the bottle to cope. Unlike his peers whose downward spirals played out in the tabloids, Milland managed to maintain a polished, dapper public facade. However, the heavy drinking quietly eroded his leading man status from the inside out. Though he eventually gained control over his habits, the glittering A-list glamour had permanently faded. He spent his later years relegated to character roles in B-movies and television guest spots before passing away in 1986. For older Americans, Milland's legacy is a poignant reminder of a tragic paradox. The very demons he brilliantly conquered on the silver screen eventually returned to claim his fading light. Spencer Tracy, the silent anguish behind the Hollywood titan. Putting it too strongly, I might even say it's been an extraordinary day. For generations of American moviegoers, Spencer Tracy was the absolute gold standard of screen acting. Regarded as Hollywood royalty, he possessed a gravelly authority and an effortless natural talent that earned him back-to-back Academy Awards in the 1930s. To the public, he was the rugged, reliable anchor of the silver screen. Yet behind that stoic exterior lay a tempest of private torment. Tracy spent his life battling severe hidden demons. Plagued by chronic insomnia and deep-seated guilt over his son's congenital deafness, he turned to alcohol as an escape. A devout but conflicted Catholic, Tracy refused to divorce his wife Louise, leading to a legendary clandestine 25-year romance with the love of his life, Katharine Hepburn. Even Hepburn's fierce devotion could not fully rescue Tracy from his inner turmoil. He kept his destructive binges strictly behind closed doors, fiercely guarding his public image, while his health deteriorated in secret. The devastating combination of heavy drinking and smoking eventually took its toll. In June 1967, just weeks after wrapping his final masterpiece with Hepburn Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Tracy suffered a fatal heart attack at age 67. For older Americans who revered him, Tracy's passing was the end of an era, a tragic reminder that Hollywood's most invincible heroes often carry the heaviest, quietest crosses. Thank you for watching today's video. If you find the content interesting or useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest videos. Your support is the biggest motivation for us to continue creating better quality content every day. What do you think about today's topic? Leave a comment below so we can discuss it together. See you in the next video. Have a great day.